Well, and that's here's the thing that I think has frustrated me, because I see so much potential with that series. I mean, truly, I see a lot of potential with it. Here's the thing that frustrates me, is simply what we're talking about. There are too many rules, or too many rules being an exception for one guy because he's going to that one track for that one race. Or I think if you make a set of rules, you make that set of rules and everybody abides by that set of rules. If you can't put your car into that box, then you don't run that series or you don't run that race. I think, and I love the idea. I love the concept of the Iron Giant. I love everything about it. And I see the potential of what it could be. But I think the thing that's holding it back is, number one, Chris is working way too hard. Trying to do his own car, trying to do his wife's car, trying to do everybody else's cars, trying to keep the rules to fit for everybody, trying to get the car counts up, find all the sponsorship. If he can put together a crew of guys that are going to come out and help assist with that, I really, really see that as a successful series.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
I know it's expensive to travel.
That's a huge part of it, the travel part. But finding people. I mean, we all work for a living, you know, and I mean, you see even at your local tracks, you know, that they don't have a lot of help. I mean, a lot of us don't want to give up a lot of free time to this. You know, I think it was easier to find volunteers when the pits were in the middle at Lebanon, because you're a race fan. But now you volunteer your time, you're out back, and you don't get to watch races.
Right.
And I know that's one of the things, even being a racer.
That's a good point, Tom. I never thought of that.
That a lot of the fun went away for me because I can't watch races. I used to even, you know, like when I was racing and Kyle was racing, I could sit there in the front stretch, lined up, and I could at least watch him go into turn one and see what he's doing. You know, when I'm in the car. But like when you're working on the car, you can look up, watch the race. You know, because I'm a race fan too. You know, not just a race car driver, but I'm a race fan. I love watching race cars go fast. And to watch a race go green to checker, man, there's nothing better than that.
Right.
I don't care if it is a walk away. You know, to appreciate what it takes for a whole race to go green to checker is amazing. You know, and that's you don't get a lot of that anymore because they try to run bigger mains.
Right.
And when your car count's low, you know, you don't get that B main to separate out those guys that don't have the experience, that have a hard time maintaining a car a whole 25 laps. You know, so it was nice when we used to just have like a 16-car main event. You had a lot of really good races because you had 16 really good cars there. And, you know, and so...
That was in the days where we had 45 to 60 late models.
Yeah.
Or you know, 75 J cars met in street stocks now. But, you know, you weed out that elite group and put them at the top.
Right. You know.
I see what you're saying. I get that. I still think that if it's done right, that series could really be something big in our region. But it's going to take a whole crew of people that aren't going to be on a race team. And I think...
Yeah, it's just really... I mean, it's... You know, I love the idea. You know, the idea is great. But what makes it really hard, and you've seen it even, you know, with the late models. I mean, it went kind of strong first year or two, and then it starts dropping off. Because as you start going, and what's sad about it is, and Clary's talked about this too, is that when you make them travel a lot, the problem is they go broke, and now they can't even race the local stuff anymore, you know, because they can't afford to get back to that level even, you know, because they've spent so much money trying to travel that it's just too hard to make the local stuff work anymore because they've wasted a lot of their income, or they've blown their motor, and with the travel and stuff in it, they've put so much into it that it's hard to get going again back even at your local stuff. So if you get guys traveling too much, it breaks the little guys.
Makes sense.
It absolutely does. And there goes my alarm.
Time to get up, Corey.
Oh, man. No, it makes perfect sense. I needed that finishing order I wanted to talk about that. See, look at her. She just thinks she's running the show here.
Yeah.
Jeez, look
Running
at you.
the show.
It's on
So-
mylaps.com.
Yeah.
I tried looking that up a while ago. It didn't work out for me.
So going back,
Learn how to use
I
your
want-
technology, Warren.
I'm technologically challenged. I
just-
can't even say it.
Yeah, I know. I had that problem earlier. So going back to the Wallbanger, let's read the finishing order here. Top to bottom,
All
20
right.
cars.
All right.
Obviously, Kyle Yeack won. Okay.
Kevin
And-
Roberts drove a good race. He came in there in second.
And Kenzie just lost our page again for us. So
Talk
anyway,
about-
For the
talk
record,
about-
this isn't my fault. This
Kevin
is Corey's
Roberts.
fault.
Kevin Roberts is one of those guys in the street stocks that is, when you talk about watching a driver have fun and just it's fun to watch, he's one of those guys you got to put on that list. I mean,
Oh,
he's
heck
always
yeah.
so fast. Look at that race we had when him and Kronk started the back.
That was awesome.
Oh my God.
Well, Kinsey made the statement earlier tonight that, people are under this impression that street stocks is a beginner class.
No.
Not in the Northwest, it's not.
Well, that's what I.
Not a Willamette anyway.
Yeah, I wanted something
'Cause-
kind of beginner, but it's not what it is. So
Right. I mean, if we took all the veterans out of that class, it'd pretty much be Dakota and McKenzie and a couple
Yeah.
others. I mean,
this,
there wouldn't be a class anymore. I mean, we race what we can afford. And unfortunately, I mean, modifieds have gotten really expensive to run. It's not so much the cost of Kyle not running the mods anymore. It was that constant coming home every night, and both sides of your car are creamed, and you're working on it all week trying to get it put back together to make it look halfway decent again. And even with the top 5 finish, you felt like you lost. And that's kind of why he quit running the mod. He wasn't having fun getting tore up every night.
Yeah.
Even though he won a championship.
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you're not
Have
having
them
fun,
now.
no sense being there.
Well, and that's the thing. If you're not having fun racing, you better find
Well,
something
no matter
else
what
to
it
do.
is.
I
Right.
mean,
Anything.
We bought a used roller, and we've spent like $15,000 on a used roller, and he's only into his street stock for $4,500.
Mhm.
One
I know a lot of
night's
people won't
winnings.
believe it, but
For Kyle.
but he did all the work himself. I mean, he built that car from the ground up himself. It was a
Right.
street-driven car. He built his own cage. He does his own deals. He has his own designs, and he obviously builds a pretty good car. I mean, that's the second metric car he's built that he's had really good success in.
Yes, and he has had a lot of success, and now that money
But he
you're
had a
talking
lot of
about-
success in his Camaros.
He did
Get it?
very much.
Yeah, I have it now.
But now that guys have got the metric cars figured out, kind of where they're at in the Midwest, are getting to that level, they're getting really, really tough to beat.
Oh, they are. And I mean, that's Kyle. After he built his first,
It's an iPhone.
It just
throw
went
it
away.
Throw it
I
away.
was looking at it. And
We're not even going to talk about the.
let her read it.
After he built
Let
it-
Mackenzie read it.
after he built his first Camaro, he wanted to build a metric car because he'd done a lot of reading. I mean, that's where Kyle gets most of his info, is he's reading forums and stuff from back east on things to do, and getting his caster and cambers and where to put weight on the car, what to do with the car. I mean, he does a lot of things that guys look at. And I remember the first lap that Kyle took in his Camaro in a practice. Dave Kingsbury looked at me and he goes,
Good old
"He'll
Dave.
never go anywhere with that car. It's way too soft. It's rolling way too far over." And then it was like about a month later, he comes up and he goes, "What's he running for springs on that thing?" 'Cause,
Yeah.
Dave's cars have always been flat,
Right.
but
Yep.
he's been fast.
Always. Yep. Kingsbury's always a very fast driver.
But Kyle was doing things differently. He was doing more of a late model setup with spring rates in a street stock car.
And it worked. We saw him win a lot of races.
Oh boy, I mean, there are nights there that the left front never touched the ground.
I
It was
remember
a good
that.
thing because it was broke.
I remember that and thinking, how does that kid drive that car? And we've seen Slover do it. Now Slover's got the car calmed down, and he's the points leader over there in the sportsman class. And,
Yeah.
and
And good for Slover, I mean,
Left
He's
front
had a
up,
great
left
year.
front up, Slover.
well, not anymore. He's got her all back on all fours, and
Yeah.
he's been super fast.
Oh, there's your backup alarm.
funny one was mine. Mine calmed down. Come to find out, it was because I put the wrong drive line in it. Why mine was so calm. until I broke it there last year.
Yes, I remember that.
And then I put the right length in there, and all of a sudden my left front was donking up there. Woohoo! You know?
What was it doing?
Donking up there. Woohoo!
Haven't heard that term in a while.
It's been a while. Yes.
You know, when I could look out and see the front of my nose and I see the top of the wall going down the backstretch, it's like, I wonder why that
You
must
do-
have been that driveway.
You do something like this, don't you?
I drive with one hand a lot
Yeah.
through the corners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll grab it with two hands going straight. Why, I don't know. But in the corners, I drive with one hand coming out. Because I feel like I can turn the wheel quicker that way with one hand.
Hey, whatever works.
I guess so.
And it helps when you have a car that handles pretty good. You know, I mean, my car really didn't take a lot of effort. The only place my car really struggled at was entrance. And that's where Sandy could get me at. His car is so fast on entrance.
Oh, man.
You know, and but
He,
they're again teching cars. I mean, they're not supposed to have groove tires, and I don't know if sportsmen's. I think some of the sportsmen still are running groove tires, and that's one
I
of the
don't know.
reasons why I didn't
I
put my
can't
car
know.
together this year.
yeah.
I know for a fact some have been running with groove tires.
There's self-police.
Who's teching it?
Yeah.
And that's not a hard tech either.
No, that's
You
not
know,
a hard self-police either.
You can see groove tires when they're rolling.
Yeah.
Well, keep talking. I'm working on something over
I see.
here.
Yeah, well,
Well, you're doing a
everybody
heck of
else
a
is
job
playing
at
on their
it, but-
phones here, Tom. I guess it's up to you and me.
I
But,
have
you know,
a
so-
finishing order. We've
Oh.
had it for.
Alrighty.
Read it to us, Mackenzie.
Do you
Yeah,
want
There you
to
go.
read,
hear
read
it?
us that finishing order.
Okay.
This is the finishing order of...
The Wallbanger.
Wallbanger.
Okay.
Okay. So first was obviously Kyle, and then Kevin Roberts in second, Brian Cronk in third, David Schmidt in fourth, Andrew Langen in fifth, but he has a little X2 next to his name, so I'm not really 100% sure what that means.
The X2 is the new transponder.
Oh, okay, so that means he has a fancy transponder.
Right.
Ah.
Him and Ray Bloom
You
both
got to
have
pay
one of those.
yearly to have that transponder.
What?
It's cheaper, but you got to pay an annual fee.
Weird.
Huh.
Weird.
Well,
That's
I've
strange.
seen that and wondered about it.
For a
That's
little
cool. Good to know.
symbol next to his name, yeah.
Yeah.
Sixth was Jack Parshall. Seventh was Evan Britton. Eighth was David Cronk. 9 was Mark. Mark
Farah.
Oh, I can never pronounce his last name. 10th was Dakota Goddard. 11th was Ray Bloom. 12th was Chris West. 13th was Jody Tanner. 14th was Chris Sine. 15th was Brad Gentry. 16th was Ron Brewster. 17th was Don Schott. 18th was Cody Smith. 19th was Justin Evans. And 20th was Jesse Yankee.
Thank you very much, Mackenzie.
You're welcome.
Kyle did get a little trouble in that race. They were under caution, getting ready to go for a restart, and Kevin was beaten on the back end of him. So Kyle did a brake check, which normally Kyle doesn't do. But he said, I got tired of getting hit. He said, so I just gave him a little brake check. Caused a little bit of a stack up. He got a little black flag waved at him a little
Uh-oh.
bit. You know.
Got it pointed at him,
He
did he?
got the warning.
Yeah.
You know, but I can't really blame him either, though. If you're getting beat on, you know, I mean, they're trying to unnerve you. And so you unnerve them back.
Coming from Kyle's father.
Well, and that's the thing. Kyle is, I mean, you don't see Kyle ever get emotional behind the wheel. You just don't. The guy's got ice in his veins. Does not get emotional behind the wheel. I think that's where you see the most successful drivers are like that.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
You
I mean,
know.
guys that go out there and let their emotions get a hold of them, they just don't win championships. They don't win races.
That's been proven.
Yeah.
You know, there's only a few guys I've been able to see that have really driven really well with emotion. You know, Tom Conway, he was...
Conway,
man,
I haven't heard that name.
there was
forever.
nothing better than sending him to the back for a little infraction and watching him come back to the front.
Yes.
That guy could wheel a car.
And he was fun to watch.
You know, and Wagner, you know, back in his day,
Oh, man.
that guy was outrageous to watch come through a pack.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I remember watching Wagner start dead last in the 100-lapper.
What number was he?
7R,
Yeah.
the Iceman.
Yep.
And go to the front in 2 laps. You remember that night? He lapped the field twice.
yeah, he had like one of the really first lightweight cars of the track, though. too,
Rayburn.
you know, and
Yeah.
he was the one to really introduce the true late
Race car.
models
Yeah.
of today.
Yeah.
You know, they were still doing a lot of home built stuff back in them days, and you know, so he had equipment above a lot of other people had back then. That's. I think we still even had wings on the top of the old super stocks back then, didn't we?
Not at that point.
Were we gone from them by then? It was close. It was right into that era.